This news alert brought to you by Clubs NT. Make your next choice a local club.
Good evening. There have been more accusations of bad behaviour during the election campaign, with CLP volunteer Ray Bale alleging he was harassed and assaulted by a union member at the Cav on Friday.
I was going out the door to get the security guard, and as I walked in the door, he stepped into the doorway. So I just moved him sideways and walked in, then he grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and pulled me back out the door. Moved mine, ripped my shirt.
It follows other accusations of bullying and intimidation on the early polling booths and on social media.
I hate it. It happens every election campaign and I absolutely hate it. I hate the trolling. I hate the games that people play with corflutes.
The ICAC has confirmed it has received reports of allegedly anti-democratic conduct, while the NTEC is investigating separate reports. A coronial inquest has been held into the death of a convicted murderer who died from cancer in custody this year. As Nine's Zarisha Bradley reports, fellow inmates said the man boasted about cutting off and eating parts of his victim's body.
59-year-old David Kevin Loader was found guilty a second time of murdering Mandorah pensioner George Martin after a technicality forced a retrial. The jury heard Loader beat Mr Martin and burnt his body in 2001 after drinking together at a campsite in Mandorah. Prison inmates gave evidence during the trial. Loader boasted about eating the victim's penis, telling them it tasted like chicken. He was sentenced to life in prison again in 2004 with a non-parole period of 20 years. In 2019, he was diagnosed with cancer and died in January this year in custody at Royal Darwin Hospital. Counsel assisting Kelvin Curry told the court until he was convinced to go to hospital, David wanted to die in prison because that's where all his friends were. The NT coroner must investigate any death in custody. Today, Coroner Greg Kavanagh made no recommendations. While reviewers found a number of areas for improvement within the top-end health service, he said the care, treatment and supervision of Loader was appropriate and of a high standard.
Territorians could soon be cashing in on more than $100,000 of buy local vouchers in Palmerston. The proposal follows a successful scheme recently carried out by the City of Darwin Council. For months now, businesses have relied on locals to keep them ticking along.
Obviously our locals have been really good to us too, just to keep us going as well.
And in a bid to keep residents employed and spending, Palmerston is taking a leaf out of the City of Darwin's book, tonight voting to roll out its own buy local voucher scheme.
The first round will commence in September and will be $20,000, and the recommendation is that it will continue in October and November.
The NT government will chip in an extra $100,000 for the second and third rounds, and the program will be called My Palmerston, with residents from right around the territory able to log on and register and cash in on local retailers just like My Darwin.
Anything to help everyone out at the moment.
But it's not the only scheme Council is hoping will boost business within the city. A proposed catch and release program for tagged barramundi in the Durack Lakes will also be reviewed at tonight's meeting. And if it floats the aldermen's boats, vouchers for local businesses will be offered as prizes.
We're encouraging people to register for that, and then they'll be able to attempt to catch barramundi only in our lakes.
The Mayor is hopeful residents will be casting out for their lucky catch of the comp next month. Thank you for joining us. To stay up to date, follow 9 News Darwin on Facebook.